Alrighty, so the My Hero Academia 2 Heroes just came out on Blu-ray, and I wanted to talk about it, and I also kind of, because I went to an actual movie of it in theaters when that was released, I also talk about that experience. So I'm going to talk about it, and I am going to get into probably some spoiler things at some point, so let's get to it. Movie review. Yeah, chilling PewDiePie. First off, there's two different experiences because I went to this movie when it was in the theaters, and that was an insane experience that I've had. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever had for going to a movie, and also probably maybe my favorite now. But then watching it on Blu-ray just now, I swear there's portions of it that are different from the theatrical release. Like certain segments are longer. Like it's at the very beginning, to where it just is setting up the world and whatnot, and how Deku got one for all. I swear that scene was only maybe like a minute in the theatrical release, but it lasted for like maybe a couple minutes in the Blu-ray, but I'm not sure if that's was exactly the same or not. It won, and even some of the dialogue I thought was maybe almost changed, but that could just be me. By the way, I watched this as dub. But with how it starts out, like, it starts out with young All Might fighting some villains in the U.S. And it has his friend David Shield with him and whatnot. I like him as young All Might, but I wish we would have got more of that, because altogether we have that scene and maybe like one more scene, because it's like how he got his costumes from David. So there really isn't. So there's about 3 young All Might scenes in total in the movie, and I would love to see more of it, because like in particular, the one younger All Might scene that we didn't see was that fight that he had with All For One when he got the wound on the side, on his side of his chest, to where that reduced his time limit to be in All For One, you know. Yeah, the young All Might stuff's cool. I still kind of can't get over that his eyes are different colors, because in the main series and whatnot, his eyes are that black, but then in this movie they're white. There's no real explanation for it. Then after that you get to backstory stuff. Then you get to a plane with All Might and Deku on it, and they kind of go over what this island is. This island of it's this island for scientists that make support items, best scientists in the world, blah 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 blah. They're on this island so they don't get attacked by villains. It's a cool idea. I like it. And it is it's almost like a Disney World then, but it's very cool. You meet Melissa right away. She's cool. David Shield's daughter. Then you just get introduced to a bunch of different people from Class 1A, and we get to villains taking over, and get to Final Fight. I know I'm glancing over a lot, but Final Fight, this is... I'm willing to say I don't like some of the CG stuff at the beginning of this fight, but I think his name is Wolfram, if I'm right. Don't quote me on that, but it's basically him versus all the students. But it gets to my favorite fight maybe of the series, is the All Might and Deku working together against this villain. And oh my goodness, I freaking love this fight. I love them working together. I love that double Detroit smash. And it truly is the like this is the one time they're equals out of the whole series, that they can work together and fight, even though it's kind of a built-in plot thing by the sense of Melissa gave Deku the gauntlet so he could go at 100%, but it's still great. I still love it. And I heard other people say this, that this movie truly is the previous generation handing the torch and seeing the next generation to be the ones to protect everyone. And I love the shot so much where it is David Shield imagining in his mind the young All Might and then seeing Deku in the same pose. I freaking love that shot. And that when I went to the theater watching this, people flipped out over that. That like you could hear people like, "Oh my goodness!" Ah! And even I was kind of like that. So I freaking love this movie. If you really like My Hero, you obviously probably saw this already. This is honestly probably even a great movie to get people into this series too. I don't know how to rate this. Just go see it, I guess. But I want to talk about my experience of actually going to this movie now, because watching it just in my own home on a Blu-ray was fun, but it didn't have the same kind of I didn't get the same feels that I did when I saw this in a movie theater. Probably because, for one, my screen isn't a freaking movie theater, but there is so much going into this. So for one, the theater that I went to, for one, it had the weirdest thing right off the bat, because I never went to a movie theater where they they basically tell you, don't get stolen from, don't get robbed. I'm like, wait, what? And they also had like these games playing there. That was cool. So pretty much there was all ages there. Some people were cosplaying, which was kind of weird, because I've been to Star Wars Day One, and the closest I've seen to people cosplaying at a movie was some people kind of had like a Jedi robe on at the Force Awakens when that came out Day One, and they had like expensive lightsabers and stuff, but that was the closest I see it to it. There was only about 2 people like that. But this is where we get into it. The movie starts. This is when I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. Every flippin' character that got introduced, everyone's like, oh my goodness, that's Deku. Oh my goodness, that's All Might. The biggest one was when Todoroki showed up, and freaking, I think it was like every girl in this theater screamed at that moment. You couldn't get by with any character showing up without a scream from everyone. It was so weird. There's genuinely no word to describe it, except it was just pure, almost crazy fun energy. But then once you got to that final fight, like, people were going insane. Like when that double Detroit smash happened, like, oh my goodness. I can almost still, like, I have a very vivid photo of it in my mind, and I freaking love it. I don't know what else to say about it. It was one of the coolest experiences I had going to see this in a movie theater, and I think I'm going to have that experience again because they just announced My Hero, the movie 2. So, yeah. Thanks for listening and whatnot. And, yeah, have a nice day.